I don't know why. I'll do like this because you guys don't need to see that. Okay. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Karen. I'm a lot of things. My name is Karen, and I am from Wisconsin. I have a business in Wisconsin called Win with Hypnosis. And I wanted today to be more informal for you guys. And there's so much that I want to give you in an hour that I can't give it to you all. So my challenge is always, how do I give you the most in this short amount of time? And I'm going to do my best. And I also want you guys to, what I want to do today is I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And then I want you to step into your hero and your journey. How many of you here are newer to the field?
I'm not an actual hypnotist.
Okay.
I run a martial arts business and my son's a hypnotist, and I know there's a lot of correlation, so that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And how about the rest of you? You know, you've been in for a while. How about the rest of you? How long have you been in the business? 15 years. Okay. Awesome. 5, yes. Anyone else?
20.
Okay.
I got certified in
2013. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Good. All right. So what I want you guys to think about as I'm going through this is what drives you? What is your why? Why are you doing this? And what is your story? The reason I ask that is because we all know, especially when we're working with athletes, what drives them and what is their story is really important. Hi, Larry. And so what I want you to do today is I want you to be able to step into your greatness, the confident, powerful you. And we all know how powerful that is because we work with athletes doing that. So I want you to be able to find your inner hero. I'm going to work with you today on the power of a contract. I create a contract with every athlete and every client that I see that steps into my office. A contract is who you are and who you get to shift into when you aren't feeling on top of the world. And then I say to them, when you come into my office, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you, what is your contract? And it should be like that. So my contract is I'm a powerful, loving, giving leader. And when I need to, or I'm in a stressful place or a place of negative emotions, I shift into I'm a powerful, loving, giving leader. And this is what I tell my clients is when we're finished working together, this is the version of you that you're going to finish with. And I want you to just examine a little bit about what's holding you back from embodying this. Hopefully we'll have time to go through some of those things that might be holding you back. Talk about becoming your own hero. I'm going to do the circle of excellence with you. And that is an NLP technique that I use with every athlete that I work with. It's part of my 4-session program. And then just ask you questions about what would support you most. So I'm hoping we get to that. I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about my story so that you guys can think about what your story is and what your journey is. So Josh is my son, and he's in heaven. He died in a motorcycle accident almost 2 years ago. And I have to say, when I really think about his journey, he left me with a legacy of determination, strength, courage, and most of all, unstoppable, undeniable desire to live life joyful and to its fullest. And every single day when I wake up in the morning, I work to be just like Josh was. He was an incredible wrestler. He was a 2-time state champ, state runner-up, multi-time national champ. On the future Olympians list, he went to college on a 100% full scholarship, anything you could imagine, and he had quite a few colleges that were looking for him. He had that unstoppable belief, which is part of the reason, obviously, my journey was the way my journey was, because when I got into hypnosis, I started working with athletes. And not only being in that arena with my sons, I also would ask him many questions, like, what is it that when you step on the mat, everyone is afraid of you? People would like default the match because they didn't want to wrestle Josh because he had such belief in himself. So I've taken a lot of his techniques and his way of being and then used that when I work with athletes. And I'm what I wanted to do was tell you a little bit more about the story, but I'm afraid we don't have time. So I'm speaking again at 5 o'clock, and I'll tell you more about his story and when he left college and kind of some stuff that went on. But in the end, he wrote me a letter when he left college. And well, his dad and I wrote us a letter when he left college. And he had, on his 18th birthday, got this tattoo, which is the United States with the wrestler with Philippians 4:13. For Philippians 4:13 is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. At the time he got it on his 18th birthday, and I was screaming angry. Like, what are you doing? It's on your side. And in the end, it's been a message for me to hold on to. So it's a verse that I say every morning when I wake up. So anyways, he unfortunately had to leave college, his full scholarship, and moved down to Florida and wrote his father and I a message. I'll tell you the story more at 5 o'clock today. So, but the end of his message said this, and this is something that I hold very, very dear to my heart. The end of his email said, I will be in contact again shortly. I know I've got a long journey ahead of me, but I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, just like the tattoo on my side states. Tom Petty says it best. I know it's hard to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly. I'm a bird. It's my time to spread my wings and soar with eagles. Please don't worry about me. I'm strong enough to get through this. His spirit animal is an eagle, which is so cool. He went to the Shadron Eagles. He had an eagle tattoo on his arm. And his message to me is so profound that, you know, I've learned how to step into my hero and that I don't have an option not to stand up and stop thinking about me and share what we have as hypnotists and hypnotherapists for the rest of the world. My journey is to help every athlete have the confidence that Josh had, that undeniable belief that he had in himself. But not only that, but every client that I see. Because what are we here for? We're here to help them love themselves, right? It's about self-love. And how do we shift them into self-love? And so that's part of his journey. And this is my why. This is what drives me. And again, my journey is to reach as many athletes by empowering hypnotists and hypnotherapists, which is why I offer my Attitude of the Champion program, which is a 6-month course. It's an online coaching and mentoring course. And it's not only a certification to become a performance mindset expert, so it's everything I do when I work with athletes for the 4 exact sessions, but it's a coaching program also of how do you step into what you are here on this earth to be. And so I want you to think about, as we go through this, what's your story and what's your contract? Now, last time I spoke was in Orlando, and I have to tell you a story about Josh because he and I still have a very strong connection. I connect with him every day, and he leads me in so much of my life, and it's really, really cool. So I was flying to Orlando, and when I'm in the airplane, I always feel closer to him. I can see him bouncing around in the clouds with actually one of his friends that passed away almost a year before he did, also a wrestler, in a construction accident. And I could just see the two of them like doing backflips up there. So I feel so much closer to him when I'm connecting. And I was on the airplane and I was saying, hey, send me a sign. I want to know you're here with me. Send me a sign and help me, because one of my intentions and prayers is that whenever I speak, that I can impact as many people as I can impact. And even if it's just a small nugget that you take away, that it's something that you can use in your business and your life. And so I said, send me a sign. And typically he'll send me, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But this time I asked for a coin. And typically when he sends me a coin, it's a quarter. I don't know why. I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm working on it. And, so we're flying and the plane lands. And the gentleman next to me stands up, and I didn't see a quarter fall from his pocket, which possibly it did. But I looked down, and there's a quarter right there in that middle aisle of the airplane. And so I said, thank you, Josh, for doing that. And then he, how are we doing on time? We're okay, right? And then I got off the airplane, and I was picked up by a driver, and we're driving along, and I see a motorcycle. And of course, motorcycles make me think of my son. He was a motorcycle driver, and he was in a motorcycle accident, which is how he passed away. And so I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm in Florida. You moved down to Florida. You had a motorcycle. I wonder if you were on this exact road. And to me, that was a sign, like, okay, I see you. Thank you. And 2 seconds later, as I was having this thought, the song Wind Beneath My Wings came on. Now, I know the song. It's Bette Midler's Wind Beneath My Wings. I'm going to play it for you guys in just a moment. I'll have Mark play it. And that was a huge sign for me, because as I listened to this song, it was, you are my hero, you are the wind beneath my wings. You think about a mom, like, what do we do with our children? What do we do when we have like outstanding athletes? We're in the background and we're supporting them and we're cooking for them and we're driving them, we're doing everything. Like, that's what we do as parents, right? And he talks about being an eagle, and I started crying. And then that night when I was processing it all, I thought, wow, like, the message I was getting is that I get to share with everyone else that they can be their own hero too. Because the only way that you're going to be who you're meant to be is when you step into your own hero. And so this song means a lot to me. And what I want you to do before we do this circle of excellence, which again I use with every athlete, is I want you to think about what your contract is. So when I write a contract with an athlete or a client, I will have them write on the top of their page, because I write affirmations and statements with every client I see. Not a client leaves my office without a list of I am statements. I feel or I am or I feel statements. And so the first statement is the contract, but we don't create it until we've created the other one, so we know where to go with it. And it would be something like, I would have them write down, I am a, and then blank, blank, blank. Now an athlete would be wrestler, soccer player, basketball player. Another client would, I'll have them choose. Do you want to write woman or man or entrepreneur or whatever that is, right? And I'll have them leave it blank, and we'll go through all the other statements that we write together based on my intake, based on what is it, if I could snap my fingers, what are 3 things you'd like to be, feel, or have when we're finished working together? Who is the version of you that you want to step into when we are finished here? And so we'll write the statements based on that, and then they'll choose their contract. So for all of you, I want you to think just for a moment, top of your head, right? Close that conscious mind off just for a moment. You can close your eyes if it's easier. Create your contract. I am a blank, blank, blank. I'm going to give you just a few moments to do that. And man, woman, entrepreneur, hypnotist. When you're complete, you can open your eyes. All right, hold on to that for a moment, okay? And whatever you came up with, say it. I have them put a Post-it note on their mirror. Say it every single day. Say it again and again and again. So it's not even a thought in your mind, but you start to embody that. You start to become that. And so I'm going to go through these quickly. I know we don't have a whole lot of time to do it because I want to save time to do this exercise. But these are just a few things that hold us back. Think about what it is that stops you from being that contract you just created. Think about what holds you back. What are your rackets? We call them rackets or nerds, right? So is it because you believe in lack or scarcity, thinking there's not enough to go around? Right? Like, what if I don't have enough clients? Or how can I have enough money to pay this? Or will I be able to quit my job? Or it's that scarcity thinking as opposed to the abundance thinking, okay? And the abundance thinking is, Larry and I were just speaking about this yesterday, is that manifesting. Not worrying about where it comes from, just believing it and declaring it. It's that law of attraction. So are we living in scarcity? I personally will tell you that I work to shift out of scarcity many times a week. And I know better, yet sometimes I'll find myself like, what if I don't? Or, now I've decided I'm not going to see clients for a couple months this summer so I can take some time to heal from some of the stuff that I went through these last couple of years. And I was just in go, go, go mode. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do without that income? And I know I know it's all going to flow, but I have to pull myself out of scarcity sometimes. Comparing yourself to others, big time, right? I remember a few years ago when I used to do these. Now this is easy for me, but I remember I used to compare myself to, the Helen Midases, and they could just get up there and speak. So it's that not as good as, right? Knowing we're all in a different place in our journey. So is that what holds you back? Is it the not good enough or don't know enough? As we know, a lot of our clients are in the not good enough. And when you really start speaking with them, it's about believing in themselves. They just believe they're not good enough from something. Fearing rejection, obviously, all of us want to be liked and loved. And what if they don't like me, right? What if they don't accept me? What if I don't say something they like? Fear of being judged. How do I look? What are they thinking about how I look? I'm too fat. I'm too skinny, right? This is like the body that we're given, so it's just embracing that. But does that hold you back? Fear of missing out or feeling unincluded. I get it. I remember the first time I went to Hypnothoughts. This was probably like maybe 5 years ago. I went to Hypnothoughts and I was presenting and I thought I knew what I was doing. And a group of pretty influential colleagues got together. And it was an evening, and they all got together, and they were talking about a project they wanted to collaborate on, and I wasn't invited. And I was like, damn it, what do I not have, right? Like, what the heck? And I remember getting on the airplane after that conference, and there was a book, like, lo and behold, I believe, like, everything shows up for a reason. There was a book in the bookstore that was Successful Women Speak Differently. I indulged and read that thing the entire ride home, and I declared from that moment on that I was going to show up so that if someone was doing something and collaborating, that they would want to work with me. I was like, I'm not having that. So that was that unincluded. Like, it hurt. I felt it. And then needing to always be right. This one is, some of us struggle with it, some of us don't. We have to be right. I mean, there's a space of like, there's no right and there's no wrong. We all have our own opinions, but this holds a lot of people back, is need to be right. So just pick in your own mind, what it is that might be holding you back, so that when you step into your power circle, your circle of excellence, you can leave that behind, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you embrace your inner hero. When I work with athletes, I just wanted to give you a little bit of this, and then I'm going to allow you guys to ask any question you want around athletes as soon as we finish this. But I teach them in the third session how to do self-hypnosis. I give them a sheet. It's exactly word for word how to do self-hypnosis. There's a couple different techniques. We all know there's different ways, right? My favorite one for athletes, and they seem to really embrace it, because they want to do things quick and easy. Athletes are busy. They have this much sleeping time and they have a million other things on their plates, right? So my one that they seem to like the best, although I do teach the stairs, and progressive relaxation, is the zone technique. Imagine your body in zones. Your head is zone 5, shoulders 4, midsection 3, legs zone 2, feet zone 1. When you guys get into self-hypnosis, so I can do this circle with you, I'm going to have you practice that. It simply is relaxing this set of muscles all the way down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And I always tell them, make sure you pay attention to the jaws and the shoulders. When the jaws are relaxed, and the shoulders are relaxed, everything follows suit. So it simply looks like this if you're in a study hall or it's before practice and you want to get back into a state of balance, is what I tell them self-hypnosis is. It's centering yourself and balancing yourself. It's just a deep breath. Close your eyes. Think to yourself, relax. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down to your jaws. Similar to the show last night, right? Just out. And so I'll teach them self-hypnosis. I will then teach them how to step into their circle in the waking state. I'll have them keep their eyes open, draw a circle in front of you, step in the circle. I'll go through this with you guys in a moment. And then I say, when we do your hypnosis today, we are going to do exactly what I just taught you. I will bring you into hypnosis using self-hypnosis so you can feel it know exactly what it feels like. And then I'm going to walk you through your circle of excellence. Okay? And then I have them practice that under self-hypnosis daily. Then before they compete, I'll have them just take a second, like let's say it's a swimmer, as they're standing behind the block, take a second, close your eyes, deep breath, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, imagine stepping into your circle, okay? When you step into your circle, I have them choose a power word. The power word starts swirling around them, and this word is linked to what does their perfect match look like, okay? So I'm gonna have you guys, when you step into your circle, imagine your contract and have that swirling around you. So whatever that embodiment is that you get to be. Okay. All right. So are you guys all ready to have a little relaxation? Okay. All right. What I'm going to have you do first is, you guys all know how to get into hypnosis. I am going to do the zones with you, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to play the song, Wind Beneath My Wings. I want you just to embrace it and not think about me and not think about my son. I want you to think about you being your own hero, being your own wind beneath your wings, okay? And then I'm going to have you step into that circle. Sound good? Okay, so go ahead and take a deep breath. And as you exhale, just allow everything to leave you. Take another deep breath. And with the first exhale, let go of anything that happened earlier today. Another deep breath. With the exhale, just let go of anything that might happen later today. Sinking into your body. Noticing if there are any thoughts swirling in your mind. Slow the thoughts. And allow them to dissolve down through your body like the soft spring rain. Down through the roots in the bottom of your feet. These strong, majestic roots. All the way down through the dirt layer, the rock layer, the layer of water, crystalline layer, all the way down to the golden core of the earth. Just leave those thoughts there for a while. Coming back into your body now, imagining the zones. Relax, zone 5. Check your jaws, space between your teeth. 4, let your shoulders sink down through your arms and out your fingertips. Any concerns, worries, or cares. 3, down through your midsection, moving deeper, relaxing more. 2, relax your legs, feel that heaviness, heavy, loose and limp. And 1, down through your feet. Feels good to be here. All
To let me shine, that's your way. You always walk a step behind. So I was the one with all of the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. Beautiful face without a name for so long. Beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? true. Of course I know I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I would fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. The wind beneath my wings. Thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings.
Okay, just keep your eyes closed. And imagine drawing a circle in front of you, large enough to step into. You can use paint or chalk or whatever you wish. I'm going to ask you in the count of 3 to step into this circle. And when you step into the circle, leaving behind the old you, those rackets, what's holding you back. And when you step into the circle, step into your hero, the contract, the version of you that you get to be. So as we begin now, 1, 2, taking a really deep breath. 3, when you're ready to leave behind the old and step into the circle, go ahead and do that. And as you do, begin to embrace the responsibility of your success. You have the ability to control your success, your life. Begin to feel a sensation now, a feeling of well-being, a very real sensation. Your body relaxes more, your mind drifts and dreams. Body loose and limp. The more relaxed you feel, the more attuned you are to your higher self, to your goals. You accept responsibility for your success, and you take the actions you need to take to reach your goals. Each day is filled with more optimism and enthusiasm for your success, and self-discipline gives you power and strength. As we take this journey now, imagine the circle begins to illuminate from the bottom up. And as it does, bring back into your memory the last time that you felt powerful, successful, confident. The last time someone told you how great you were, or how good you looked, or how amazing you were at your career or what you did. As that circle begins to illuminate, imagine your contract now. Repeat it in your mind's eye. Allow that contract to begin swirling around you. feeling the greatness, the power. Use all of your senses to feel what it feels like when you step into and embody this you, this hero within you. Allow that light to move up, filling with love and light and confidence and truth and authenticity and power. And now transport this circle to a time in the future when you see yourself overcoming one of those rackets that were holding you back. Notice what you look like. A smile on your face. The feeling of confidence and strength. Creating that blueprint in your mind, that map to the future. Now, although this journey is coming to a close, until next time, anytime you step into this circle, your own private, personal circle of excellence, this same feeling of confidence, power, and strength returns. Step out of your circle now. Allow it to shrink small enough in size to fit into the palm of your hand. Put it in your pocket for safekeeping. Anytime you practice self-hypnosis, step back into this circle, into your own hero, into your contract. Into your confidence and your power. And slowly and easily now, beginning to bring yourself back to the room, back to the present moment, the here and now. Some wiggling in fingers, some wiggling in toes. When you're ready, opening your eyes, emerging, feeling wonderful in every way. All right, I feel good. All right, I just read this actually from, this is the manual that I offer when I teach the course, and it's one of the techniques that I use with athletes, so I just used that. Any questions about athletes that, anything that I can support you guys on? Yes?
How do you connect with them
How do I connect with athletes?
to get their business?
Sure.
You know, how do you
Yes.
schools or do you,
I do. With COVID, it wasn't as easy. Obviously, we couldn't do it. I did online stuff, but I worked with a lot of athletes at that time to keep their mind in shape along with their body in shape so they could get back to competition when they started. With me and what I teach in my course, because there is a marketing module, is that it is about contacts. So we start with creating an email list. Your buyer's list is what I believe. You know, we can have Facebook friends, but if Facebook goes away tomorrow, we have nothing. And so your email list is very strong and important. And so I will have them create a list and I'll give them sources on where to find emails. Now, simple. There's clubs, schools, courses, all over the place. There are no lack of athletes. If I had a sports hypnotist or a hypnotist that was in the office next to me, we could probably not see enough clients. I mean, they're everywhere, right? And we are finding that as children are getting more and more competitive at the younger ages, their parents are dying to have them get more confidence or not feel so much pressure or enjoy the sport again, right? Because they want them to go to college and do their sport. And so it's about creating an email list. I also suggest going to service organizations. We all know this for the rest of our business, but I know because I was I got the speakers when I was in the Optimist Club many years ago, and there was a lack of speakers. And if someone would have called and said, I want to come in and do a 20-minute or half an hour presentation on hypnosis, I would have been like, come on in, like I love it. So that's what I tell everybody that takes my course is you will be accountable. You will have challenges and stretches. You will be called out if you don't. We will be asking you when you can complete it. And one of those is contacting service organizations and going in, and you could do the circle of excellence. You can do stress release, right? So there's that piece. There are so many adults or parents and grandparents in those organizations. So we start there. And then after the emails, I will have them send the coaches and the organizations emails. Get out in the community, right? It's part of embracing, not I'm a hypnotist or I'm a hypnotherapist, which I did for many years. I help athletes reach their ability when they don't have the confidence. Do you know an athlete like that, right? I help them reach their peak performance using hypnosis. Now they know what you do. It's simply just embracing, right, that elevator speech. And then going to the teams and doing free team talks is what I do. And with every team talk, it's about 20 minutes. I typically secure 3 or 4 athletes because you just give them a little snippet of what you can do. And then, one of the big things, like I tell them, is at the end of the team talk, go ahead and ask, have you struggled with an injury and you don't feel like you can get back? Do you practice better than you play? Do you have a coach that sometimes says things that feels like it hurts and you want to be able to get your power back? Do you feel like you've lost the joy of the sport, right? And everyone on that team is like, that's me, that's me, that's me. And so then, I just offer that 20-minute talk with their parent, obviously. And that's what I tell everybody is it is so easy to get athletes, to work with athletes. It's mindset training. It's not emotional. And it brings in thousands of dollars a week. Thousands of dollars a week, and simply on a part-time basis. And it's all about just being willing to get out there and offer your services. You're not selling them. You're not asking anyone to come see you. You're saying, this is what I have. This is what I can offer you. And if you're interested, come and see me in my office and we'll do a private mental toughness training program with you. So that's pretty much how I teach it. And it's low cost, right? I mean, I will have those in my course make a Facebook page and print some postcards, which are very reasonable, and drop them off at golf courses and, when they talk to the pro, kind of like their little calling card. But that's pretty much my process. Did that support you? Good. Okay, good. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a former client who's a coach, and he coaches girls softball.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought of just going and volunteering my services because he was a good guy, and I like the fact that he's a coach.
Heck
How
yeah.
would you do that? Would you do this a 20-minute talk, or would you?
I would say to him, get me in front of your team, right? One of the keys that I've learned, it took me a few years to learn this because, again, it's stepping into my power, right? Is when I go speak to a team, I typically will insist it's after a practice and the parents are invited because the parents are the buyers, right? The kids can think it's really cool, but they'll go home and say, we had a hypnotist there and I'd like to go see a hypnotist. And then they call and find out what it costs and they're like, are you kidding me? So when the parents are there, they're the buyers, right? So there's that piece. You know what I have for you guys? I'm glad you reminded me. Is a QR code. If you guys, you probably can snap that. If not, you can come up afterwards if you can't get it on your phone. That will bring you to a link in my ClickFunnels, which will send you both the Circle of Excellence that I just did and part of the Peak Performance Team Talk that I offer at teams for teams. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to memorize it. Just take the points that resonate with you. And it's simple things like, asking them how many times a day they say to themselves, I'm a great soccer player, right? Or softball player.
This is actually college.
Okay, yeah,
College.
This works for college.
Okay.
So I work with a lot of youth, high school, and collegiate. I have worked with Olympic trial athletes and pros. In fact, I'm now in a program where we are offering mindset training to pro football players in California, and very similar techniques. But I find that the high school, youth, and collegiate, they refer. I'm working with a gentleman right now. He's in his 70s, and he's a golfer. And I saw him for the first 2 sessions. He came in with the 3rd session because he had gone to Myrtle Beach to play golf with some buddies with a league he's on. And he came back and he's like, you are not going to believe this. I got the exact, he wanted to bogey and par everything or something, bogey, par, and birdie. I bogey parred and birdied every hole. I typically am way over what par is. And he said, my buddies were like, what did you get? And they didn't believe me so I had to show them my scorecard because I did so well. Simple techniques, we would tap the club 3 times and he'd, like shift into reset, refocus, whatever it was. And then I said, oh, that's so awesome. Can I get a testimonial from you? Because I like to get the video testimonials. And he's like, and I'm like, well, really? And he's like, I said, did you tell your buddies you came to see me for hypnosis or you used hypnosis? He's like, no way. They would have teased me so much. I can't tell anybody that's what I did. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I find that the pro athletes, and they're not as ready to share. And so for the referrals, the younger group, I mean, they'll tell everybody, like, I got my swim time. How'd you get your swim time? I went to see a sports hypnotist. And then so-and-so's calling me and so-and-so's calling me. So, yeah. Yes.
I have a friend that works with athletes,
Mm-hmm.
Primarily to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets a lot of these athletes because she started with one of the people she hypnotized for stop smoking
Sure.
was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
This,
Yes.
Pro levels.
Yeah, and the coaches want their teams to
And
be better.
consequently, she gets a lot of athletes
Yeah.
to stop
Yeah.
smoking.
And that's the thing is there's so many hypnotists and hypnotherapists that think that they can't work with athletes because they weren't an athlete. Yet it doesn't matter. We help them manage their minds, right? They know their sport. Yes.
So this goes on. She has done everything. She's older than Larry.
Mm-hmm.
She used to work 7 days a week, 3 clients a day.
Sure.
She's cut back to 5 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But she told me a story because I connected with her, and she spent an afternoon training me on some of her techniques and things. And she told me a story about working with one of these athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped in on a flight through and asked her if he'd work with her. And he was new with a team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know his name,
Mm-hmm.
but I know she planted 3 suggestions.
Mhm.
One, his average would go from like, I don't know, 190 to 280.
Sure.
And instead of hitting like 17 or
Mhm.
19 home runs, he would hit between 28 and 31.
Mm-hmm.
And that season he hit 31.
Yeah.
But here's what's amazing. He hit 5 home runs in one game.
Yeah, it happens.
Only been 17 people ever do this.
Yeah.
And what's extraordinary is he was brought in the game in the 5th inning
Mm-hmm.
and hit 5 home
Yeah.
runs. The game's half
It's
over.
declaring it, right? Yeah, it's stepping into it.
So her hallway going to her office
Mhm.
is lined probably
Yeah.
like Larry.
We just have a few minutes left.
Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
She's in this organization. So
Yep. Yeah. And it's true. It's about really giving them the belief that it's going to happen. I mean, I just saw a man with restless leg syndrome, and he after the first session I sent him an email and asked how he was doing, and his email back to me was, "It's amazing. You wouldn't believe it. I haven't had restless leg syndrome." I had to email him back. I said, "Of course I believe it. I wouldn't have seen you if I didn't believe it, right? If I didn't believe you could do it." All right, so go ahead, Larry.
So, I have 2 comments.
Sure.
One is what you said earlier. I'm not into sports, as we've spoken. But when they come in for athletic issues, and they tell me the language, like golfing, I've never golfed.
Mm-hmm.
The language of golfing, then I put all that down in my script,
Use their words.
and I use their words.
Mhm.
The second thing I want to say to you is your smile is captivating this audience.
Aw, thanks, Larry. You're so sweet. Thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to mention real quick the Attitude of a Champion program that I offer. I am launching it again in August. If anyone's interested in working with athletes and a coaching course, what I've decided with this course is it's not just here's a certification or go ahead and grab this and see if you can finish it. what I learned through my transformation of going through a very intensive leadership program of transformation and stepping into our power, B, my son dying at the same time going through a divorce, that I want to coach others also to be successful. And if I'm not holding your hand and making you accountable and stretching you, then you're probably not going to do it the way that I think that you should do it, or that I want you to, the person that I want you to step into. So it's a 6-month coaching course, and I mentor and coach, and we have live sessions and personal sessions. And it's a performance mindset expert certification. If you're interested, there is lots of information at my name, Karen at KarenBird.com. And if you are interested in talking to me and registering, there's a $1,000 discount this weekend. So I can give you more information after this.
I'm assuming that's 2022.
Yes, thank you. We could do some regression, but I prefer to do future pacing. Great
Like I
catch.
said, I'm not really a big sports person either, but I'm assuming all this can be transformed into performance. Physical performance.
Absolutely. It works with entrepreneurs. Yep, for sure. I work with entrepreneurs using the same structure, the same program, musicians, actors. It's very, very similar. Yeah. Yep. All right. Any last questions? Well, thank you all for being here. You were. Yes, we're great.